Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dark Souls. We are in everybody's favorite location, the one and only Blighttown. I actually don't think it's that bad, but I have some esoteric tastes. I actually kind of like the area. I don't like a lot of the creatures and some of the mechanics, but I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I also usually avoid it. Okay, so I just turned human, we kindled the bonfire, we now have 10 Estus flasks for resting here. That should hopefully help us reach the bottom. If you recall, our goal is to get to the swamplands at the bottom. So we're going to be doing that. After I deal with this guy and a couple of his pet fire-breathing dogs. Oh boy. Okay, and these enemies can drop broken swords, which are pretty much useless. They're quite useless. We'll just call it like it is. There is another dart thrower off to our right. You may have noticed the dart or heard it. Yeah, he's up there. You can see where those darts are coming from. So I do need to be a bit careful, because our shield will block that buildup so that we don't get poisoned just for being there. But if he hits me when I don't have the shield up, or like hits me from the side or behind or something, then we will be in a spot of trouble. Also, this place is just riddled with like ladders and things. And whatever that is. I don't know what that is. I mean, it's some sort of creature-y thing. It's latched onto a drainage. Oh, I wonder if we can actually kill it that way. I usually use some sort of ranged attack against that creature. It is another unique spawn thing, meaning that it will only be there once. And then once we kill it, it'll never be back. I'm not going to be going for all the items here in Blighttowns, just because you don't need all of them. They're not all good. There are like some souls, there's probably like some weapons and armor and that sort of stuff, but it's really not worth being a perfectionist in this area. And this is coming from me. I'm a bit OCD about my video games. How much of a perfectionist I am. Blighttowns is just that gross of an area. Upper Blighttowns I don't like. Oh, hello. Hey, you're a dart blower. And you're dead now. Cool. So we got another blooming purple moss clump. Those are really, really handy to have. The blooming purple ones cure both types of poison. The regular poison and, most importantly, the toxin, which is just really bad. Being affected by toxic is just the worst thing ever. Eagle Shield, that is a great shield. I believe the first one that we've actually encountered so far in the game. That we've had opportunities to come back here. Thank you. And we've had opportunities to like purchase or acquire other ones. Maybe. I think we could have bought one from a merchant earlier. Great shields are interesting. So the normal shields you can use to parry attacks. Great shields are enormous. They have much higher stability, which is like the most important stat for shield. But you can't parry attacks. So that's kind of the trade-off there. And I guess that's all there was to do here. We must... Yeah, this is a dead end, I suppose. That's okay. We picked up a thing. And that was just the soul item that we picked up. Ah, here's another ladder. I knew that we were missing one somewhere. Okay, ah yes, and then there's that creature. It, I believe, is protecting an item over here. Okay, and you do attack. Can we attack you? Oh, boy. Okay, so don't do that. Note to everybody, don't do that. Whatever I just did, that's bad. I've never actually tried to kill this thing with melee. I always have at least like a bow and arrow or a crossbow or something. So this pure melee run is, it's leaving me in a bit of a pickle. I think we can go around and kill it from behind. Oh, fire dogs. Hello. Oh no. Oh no. Well. I mean, I guess I killed those 2 dogs also, so that's something, right? At least we didn't lose, like, any humanity, and we didn't lose a ton of souls, so I don't really mind. That's part of why I'm being so careless right now. There's not much at stake. We can get our 150 souls back. Yeah, look at that. If I had lost humanity, I would be sad. If I haven't mentioned that, what happens, there was that green blood stain there. When you die, you drop all your souls and your humanity kind of at a rough location, you know, near, if not at, where... Oh, hello. Near or at where you just died. And then you can pick up those souls and humanity. And when I say humanity, I mean the number in the top left corner, which reads 00 right now, not the physical humanity items. You keep all the items that you have. I don't really think I care about any enemies that are up on this floor, so let's kind of work our way down. If you die before you pick up your bloodstain, before you pick up the souls and humanity and things that you lost previously, then they're gone forever. They are gone. You do not get them back. You have no way of getting them back. And your new bloodstain from your new most recent death will be the only one that will be available. Are you coming up here or not? You are. Okay. Are you? Please do. Did I just go the wrong way again? I just went the wrong way again, didn't I? Well, we're gonna pull all these other enemies that were behind us, so that's something. Because weren't there 2 that just, like, showed up out of nowhere? Oh, hello. Well, I found one of them. Okie dokie. I see a shadow. There's somebody climbing around, maybe? Are you up? We're gonna go up. Yeah, so the death mechanics, the way you lose all your souls that you have with you, but like you keep... Oh, hello. Yeah, that's our other dart blower guy. But like the fact that you keep your items is a big part of why it's kind of a big deal to find like physical humanity items or physical soul items, because those you get to keep if you die. So it's less risky to have those things and to hang on to them. So you really want to, you know, not use them unless you're absolutely, like, not use the items unless you're absolutely going to use the souls or humanities right away. Like, be at a bonfire needing, you know, those extra souls to level up or whatever you're going to do before you use the items. Just, you know, less risk involved. Kind of just a mentality that you have to cultivate and develop as you go through Dark Souls. There we go. This is what I was hoping we would come across. Can I not kill you from the side? I can. 1,000 souls, and we can get whatever that item was it was guarding. Pyromancy. Awesome. That was a big freaking waste of time. That's okay. Ah, see, here's a blood stain. So That's the other thing is, whenever somebody dies, their bloodstain, where their souls and humanity would be, they kind of exist in the greater online world, so that you can kind of see how they died. So you can watch people like sometimes maybe learn of an ambush, or watch them walk over the edge, like that guy. Ooh. Cool. Man, I love this sword. Have I mentioned that yet? This sword is pretty awesome. Yeah, dying in Dark Souls is one of those things, you have to kind of treat it like the common occurrence that it is. You really don't want to get all worked up about dying in Dark Souls. It's inevitable, it's going to happen. It's like having a shitty team when you're just playing some sort of like random public match of any sort of online game, like Dota or something comes to mind. You just accept it, and you move on with your life. We're going to try to get this item. Woohoo. The whip. It is a dexterity-based weapon. And while we're here, we'll just go all the way down, I suppose. I think this was where we were headed anyway. Yeah, I think that's the ladder that I was looking over the edge at. Cool. And we're kind of in our final descent to Blighttown. We're almost at the bottom. So less of the creepy hollow snake people, monster men. I don't know what they are. They're all like elongated mutants. And we're going to start seeing more and more of these bugs. Like a lot more of the bugs. Well, I didn't quite mean to land here, but I'm really glad that I survived that. He's off of me. I hear a dart blower or something. I don't know where it's coming from, though. Which is fine, we just need to be cautious about that. It's just like just directly above us. Yeah, it's up there. Well, that's irritating. Okay, alright, well, we did it. Welcome to Blighttowns, everybody. We are just going to perpetually be poisoned. The swamp is poisonous, and we have to go through the swamp a lot. I don't know, it's almost not worth using moss clumps to cure your poison, at least not when you're exploring like this, just because you're going to keep getting poisoned. There's no real way around that. These leeches are pretty fantastic. They drop Titanite shards. As you saw there, we got a large Titanite shard. They can also drop green Titanite shards, which is used for like divine upgrades, like making divine weapons or fire weapons or some of those kind of more advanced forms of upgrades. The other thing I'm going to do real quick before I forget is we're going to swap out our poise ring for the rusted iron ring. This is where it comes in most handy, because now we can move through the swamp normally without being bogged down, if you'll pardon the pun. Or even if you won't pardon the pun. I don't really care. So yeah, I'm going to run around and kill a bunch of these leeches. They have a relatively high drop rate of the Titanite shards. This is actually like one of the better places to farm large Titanite shards. Or also the green ones if you plan on doing like... Yeah, see, there we go. We got 5 green Titanite shards. If you plan on doing like a fire weapon or divine weapons or those sorts of things. Maybe even like lightning weapons? I totally forget what all those affect, though. So you can see all these different things we have. Yeah, magic, divine, or fire weapons. Which is quite a wide spectrum. We're moving around this thing. This tree right here to our left will lead down to the Great Hollow. I'm probably going to go just like poke my head in there real quick, but we're not going to actually go into that area until later. Another large Titanite shard. Large Titanite will be fantastic because we're going to need a lot of Titanite to upgrade, well, to continue upgrading our armor, and then also to upgrade the weapon that I'm going to be using later in the game, my axe. I would love some more Titanite from these guys. Well, there's Server. Server's interesting. It is a curved sword. Oh, hang on, cat. You're not supposed to get in there. No, 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 no. Thank you. Server is a curved sword, so it's going to be dexterity-based. It has minor lifesteal, I think. So every time you hit something, you gain, like, you restore a bit of your own health as, like, a percentage of the damage that you deal. Kind of a cool idea. I don't think it gives enough HP to really be worthwhile. I don't know. I have only played around with it a little bit. I don't usually play a dexterity-based character in this game. Dexterity I find to be a bit trickier to manage. I prefer the short, simple, brute force strength approach instead. So I'm going to run up this ramp here. This is leading to the Great Hollow, as I mentioned just a moment ago. We're just going to pick up the plank shield. We're going to break this illusionary wall. And I'm going to open this chest. Twin Humanities. That will be helpful later. And then we'll deal with the rest of the Great Hollow later. Back to killing leeches. Single green Titanite shard, not as good as the 5 that you can sometimes get from these creatures, but that's okay. And so then that's kind of this end of Blighttown, of the swamp. So just kind of for reference, this is to the left of where we came down, and this is the end. Like, you can kind of wrap around that tree right there a little bit, but and then there's obviously inside of the tree, which we'll be dealing with later, but then that's about it. And then this is where we came down, right over here. So of course we're gonna get a bunch of mosquitoes attacking me, and maybe have to deal with that dart blower enemy up above and all that stuff. I hate these mosquitoes. They're so irritating. And they spawn infinitely. So now we're going to shoot off to the right. That mound there with like the spike sticking out of it, that is kind of our ultimate destination. That will be where the boss is. Did I kill this leech? I did, okay. Just wanted to make sure. We are relatively low on Estus flasks, so I am going to want to head to... Ooh, that's the Pyromancer set of armor. Oh, hello. We are going to want to head to the bonfire soon. There's a bonfire down here in Lower Blighttown. I mean, the bonfire is super obvious. If you can't find this bonfire, you have to be blind. Like, you don't deserve to call yourself a video gamer if you can't find the bonfire down here in Lower Blighttown. Like, it's so simple and obvious, it's just crazy. Ta-da! Bonfire. Found. There's a chest back here. And I believe this just has a dragon scale in it? Yeah. Cool, very cool. Oops, ladder. Dragon Scale is interesting. It's tied to one of the covenants in the game. And it's also used to upgrade the dragon weapons that I've talked about a little bit in the past. I don't have humanity on my bar, do I? I'm not going to bother kindling this fire. I don't think we'll need it. But I do want to become human. Much like Kirk, the Knight of Thorns, who invaded us back when we were in the sewer, there is another NPC invader in this area who will show up and try to attack you. And we're going to go ahead and instigate that. There we go. Dark Spirit Maneater Mildred. And now we just kind of hang out for Mildred to show up. There you are. And I think she's immune to poison. So I'm pretty sure that her running through the swamp, it just doesn't matter. She just won't get poisoned. And she's pretty easy if she holds still long enough. Oh man, I hate these things. Stupid mosquitoes. Cool. So we got a bunch of humanity, we got the butcher's knife, we got a good chunk of souls, we got all manner of good stuff. Both humanity items and some actual like humanity added to our counter up in the corner there. So all that really, really good. Totally worthwhile for not much effort. This is the elevator platform that I mentioned a couple videos ago when we were poking our head into the top of Blighttown, kind of the exit on the other side of Blighttown. So that will ultimately be our way back out. And if you use the master key that you can sometimes start the game with, and you approach Blighttown from like the Valley of the Drakes, that whole area, then this is where you will be entering Blighttown, which is pretty close to the boss. It's a nice short little path here. Although I'm not going immediately to the boss, so I want to run around and grab just a few more of these items that are laying around because, you know, why not? Yeah, we're getting close. So there's going to be one last type of enemy. You can see them off in the distance there. They're like those ogre guys that we've encountered a couple times now, except they have giant boulders, and they use the boulders as weapons. There's going to be one around the corner to the left here. So they can throw them, and they can also... Oh, there's two of you over here. There are not supposed to be two of you. I don't want to deal with two of you. I'm not going to deal with two of them. I thought there would only be one. Well, they can use the boulders, like, to throw at you, or to, like, roll and try to run you over, or just, like, a hammer, just, like, try to smack you in the face with it. They're quite irritating, and they all are lined up nice and neat, kind of blocking the path towards the actual boss. But they're really not that difficult to circumvent. Okay, so there you can see them, you know, dead ahead. You can see kind of right above the tip of my sword, there's a little cave entrance in that mountain there. That is where we are headed. Ooh, also there's an item. Large Titanite Shard, awesome. And just like that, those jerks have all been circumvented. Ta-da! Alright, so I got 5 Estus flasks. I'm gonna check and see if I have a decent shield for this fight. I think I'm wielding the best shield that I have for fire defense right now. Spoilers, we're gonna need fire defense. So here we are, Quelaag's Domain. These enemies right here, you don't actually want to attack if you kill them. They break out in a bunch of little, like, parasite worms. And those worms are pretty tough to deal with. You know, we'll read a few of these. There's usually, like, a amazing chest ahead message, something like that. Oh, okay, well. And then also we could maybe summon Maneater Mildred now that we defeated her as an invader. She'll actually show up and help us with the fight. She, for not wearing any armor, just the butcher's mask and wearing the butcher's sword and a wooden plank shield, she actually is surprisingly functional in this boss fight. Like, she's a pretty decent tank for you. This may be foolish, but I'm going to try this boss fight on my own. And we have the crazy mutated fire witch. Spider creeper monster thing. The only attack that we really need to watch out for is one where it will, like, just kind of spontaneously explode. The big tell, if you can actually see the woman's torso up on top of the spider, is that she will just kind of go limp and, like, fall forward. That is by far the most dangerous attack, though we also need to watch out for all of the lava that the spider vomits up in here. It's usually a good idea to not lock onto her, so that you kind of get a better view and your aim is maybe a bit better, but and this boss fight's not that tough, and we have a really good weapon. Oh boy. And the lava does fade over time. Awesome. I'm so glad she just did that attack. That attack has a huge cooldown time. Like, she's vulnerable for a fair bit of time when she does that. Cool. So, just like that, Solaqualag. Easy peasy. Alright, and if you think I'm a bit overpowered right now with this sword, just wait until I get my actual real weapon that I want to be using. Which, in theory, we can get pretty gosh darn quickly here. I mean, we could have gotten it a while ago. It's just... There are two routes to get it. You can get it as a random drop from enemies that is very rare, or you can go buy it for a boatload of souls, if you're in a certain covenant. So we'll attempt the first way, and probably going to have to resort to the second option. That's okay. And there we go. There's our second bell. So we have now rung both bells of awakening, just like that. So we get this extra cool little cutscene as we see what was maybe awakened. Yep, so that is the fortress gate being raised. And that's for the fortress back by the Undead Parish. You can see that's the first bell that we rang over on the left side there. And that's where the Onion Knight was. Siegmeyer of Katarina. He hums a lot. I like him. He's a big goofball. Very, very cool. How much humanity do we have? Not enough is the answer. Alright, well, at the risk of making this an extra long video, I'm going to continue down here, and we're going to do another boss fight real quick. The Demon Ruins. And I'm going to go ahead and rest at this bonfire, just in the event that something goes wrong. Nothing will go wrong. This boss fight is also a bit of a joke. But, you know, such is the way of things. More of these egg creatures. These two are actually aggressive. They will come after you, and they'll try to grab you. And if they do grab you, they'll do that. We saw the worm pop out of that guy's back, and that will infest you, and you'll be infected, and you will have an egg planted in you. And eventually you'll get like a little worm sprouting out of your own head, which means that you can't wear helmets. That's kind of a weird side effect. It might also like drain some of your stats having that parasite in you. I forget, it might like lower your HP or something. I'm not entirely sure how that works. But it's kind of gross. And it used to be, back in the day, you used to have to get infected by those parasites in order to join one of the covenants, but they've since patched that out, so it's not required anymore. You can just walk up to the covenant and join. So, kind of an obscure thing. We are in the heart of this volcano-y area. Lots of fire, lots of lava. It's actually pretty cool. Sorry about that. Cat was getting into stuff again. Yeah, so a lot of fire. You saw we went through the fog wall, and it's still there, so we are in a boss arena. Though there is not really a boss in sight just yet. So all that will be changing in just a moment here. This is a fun boss fight. This is one where there's kind of a goofy mechanic to it. And that's the boss right there. So here we go. He will not attack you unless you attack him first. I say him. I don't know if he's a he or a she. I'm going to go with him. Sure. He looks kind of sad. Those creepy eyes. And like the weird tentacles just coming out. And the fire. Oh, poor guy. Or gal. Who knows? Poor creature. It is kind of protecting this corpse, though, because... Ta-da! Attacking. It is now aggressive. Ooh. That is not what I wanted to happen. I tried to dodge there. Well, that didn't exactly work the way I wanted it to. Let's try changing things up a little bit. So the gold-hemmed armor that we picked up actually has really, really good fire defense. Like, really good fire defense. So I'm going to equip all this stuff and hope that that will actually let us live. Also, we look pretty badass, too. Look at that. That's pretty cool. You have to admit, that's pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to give it one more go here. This boss, believe me, for reals, it's not that bad. It's actually a bit trickier if you do die the first time, though. Which, I mean, it couldn't really be helped. Like, I have no fire defense at all. I have no defense at all, just in general. But, yeah, it's a bit trickier if you're coming back into the fight after having already, you know, started it. But here we go. So we have to... there's a trick against the boss. I kind of alluded to this earlier. And if we want to actually use the trick, we have to run all the way back over to where we picked up this armor set. And the boss is going to be, like, attacking us and whatnot this whole way also. And he has, I think, like a ranged attack, and then also he can just, like, smack at you with his giant tentacle arm things. So we'll take this shortcut here. And he can hit you through those walls, so they are not an actual form of protection. So we've got all the way back over here. This will let me pick up my souls too, which is awesome. I don't think we have to actually lure the boss all the way back over here. I think we just need to be in this vicinity, but you know, better safe than sorry at this point, right? Okay. That will buy us a little bit of time. And now we sprint all the way back to the fog gate. This is what I had wanted to do the first time. Okay. Sorry, I'm just listening for the audio cues for when the boss is about to attack, because I don't want to get caught off guard again. So this should work now. You may have noticed that, you know, there's lava over here, and then it kind of flows off a cliff over here on this side. That is going to be the key to this trick. Come hang out all the way back here by the fog gate. Yep. Yep. Boss jumps at you and is literally just dangling over the edge here, holding on by his arm. So if you attack... Ta-da! Dead boss. He loses his grip. Classic cartoon situation. He falls off the edge and is done. Very cool. We got some humanity, we got a bunch of souls, and most importantly of all, Got this lava here to recede, which is pretty cool. Awesome, so this video has gone on long enough. I'm glad that we managed to kill that boss in only 2 tries. And now we have lava land area here that we can go wander around in. I'm probably going to do a little bit of that. I'm going to... Yeah, we'll do maybe a little bit of this next time. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do next. We have a couple of options. So, either way, thank you all for joining me. And, as always, may the grace of the Twilight Dragon be with you.